Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation, joined once again by Mr. Lane along for another Warhammer 40K battle report. And with today's battle, we will be answering one of the most important questions. And what is that question, Lane?
Why are you wearing pajama pants? You're an adult.
Because I always wear pajama pants. No, seriously, no joke. Like, it is actually part of like my attire is I will always wear pajama pants. If you ever see me at a tournament, I'm wearing pajama pants. I'll have my jersey and pajama pants because like you're sitting there for all those hours. I want to be comfy. Not to mention I wear jeans literally all day, every day at work. You're getting pajama pants, buddy.
All right.
But yeah, seriously, like I'll go to the store shopping in sweatpants and everything like that. And more importantly, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. Turn on the bell to get notified on all the content that we bring you here on the channel.
More of this thrilling pants talk. Yeah, sign up for it, guys.
Yes, the pants are important. This is the pants party. Anyways, back to what we're really here for. Warhammer 40K, and the question we're going to ask today is, can the Grey Knights that I've been so dominant on the table with right now, my average game rate is under 3 turns. I am under 3 turn average of finishing off with this list. And today, we'll be going up against Lane's DeathWatch, which, while those games go a little longer, the main bulk of an army is you can be eliminated on turn 2, on turn 3, even kind of turn 1 if you really want it.
I don't think I'm going to be eliminated by turn 1. Half my army's in deep strike. So.
This is true. This is true. But your army does possess that ability that even though you may not completely obliterate someone's army, you will obliterate the portions of the army that matter and then just roll around and pick up the pieces.
It's a real mean list. It makes people sad.
It is very, very mean. So this is one of the reasons that I'm bringing the Grey Knights. The other one is Lane wanted this fight. Lane wanted the fisticuffs of the Grey Knights since I have been doing very, very well with them.
You hurt my Votan.
I hurt him bad. Hurt him real bad. I have been running very well with the Grey Knights. I have been able to hit extremely hard ever since the data slate changes that it's time to put them up to a real test. Later this week, I will be getting a chance to bring Necrons back on the table, and probably next week, I will be doing a little run with Lane. Unfortunately, I will not be traveling to Cincinnati. Lane will be. So I will be throwing some Necrons at him just to remind him of how the reanimating robots feel. Make it hurt. Make it hurt a little bit.
They're real big in the meta. I mean, a lot of people are playing Necrons. A lot of people have them, probably from the old, the Indominus box. So I'll probably see if you there.
That and with the sudden uprise of the monolith, everyone's like, oh, I can use my giant floating pyramid again? It's amazing. For me, I'll probably be running Canoptic because I love the Canoptic stylings of it. But I will be trying the Obstinate Phalanx. I'm never going to get this thing
Obeisance. Right. They obey. It's based on characters, right? They have to obey the characters. So
something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Obeisance.
Someone put it in the comment section. I have to write it down, and then I'm just going to keep it here. I'm just going to have a note card, or I'll record myself saying it right, and then just layer it over there.
Just point to me. I'll say it.
Yeah. I'll be running the
Obeisance
Phalanx. But I definitely want to get that a try. Definitely want to get a channel. But again, Lane is prepping to go to a GT. Mm-hmm. I will not be because I misinterpreted the dates, and my son's birthday is coming up, and we're spending a lot of money on that. So I will be skipping this one. I will be going to the next GT that we go to. Cincinnati just came too quick. But Lane will be going. So instead of putting something I haven't tested yet and just getting completely trounced, I'm bringing the Grey Knights. Later, we'll be back on Necrons. So this is going to be the 3rd battle on the channel. I've had a couple games out of channel. Done very well with the Grey Knights. That's why I said...
You play games that aren't recorded?
I know, right? Amazing. But, like I said, my average kill rate is usually by turn turn 2.5, 3, where I'm clearing it off. And I really do feel in this game, win or lose, we're probably going to know who's going to win this game by about turn 3. Because I'm going to have to hit you, and either I'm going to hit you and fail, or hit you and it's going to work. And if I hit you and fail, you're going to hit me back, and it's going to hurt.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's introduce the players of this game. Lane, let's talk about this DeathWatch.
Let's do it. All right, guys, this is my DeathWatch list today. We are running the Black Spear Task Force. I'm not going to run anybody else's detachment. It's the DeathWatch detachment. We got 3 characters. We have a captain who will have the enhancement Tome of Ectoclades. We'll also have an Apothecary Biologus who will have the enhancement, the Beacon Angelus, that allows his unit to deep strike and can rapid ingress for free. And of course, we got the Calidus Assassin because we got to score points in this game, not just kill things. As far as squads here, we have a Company Heroes squad that the captain will be joining, and they will be their special ability is neg1 to wound when they're led by a character, so they'll stick around for a while, hopefully keeping that captain alive. We do have 3 5-man squads of DeathWatch Terminators. DeathWatch Terminators can take 3 heavy weapons per every 5 guys, so that's going to be 3 assault cannons in each squad. We've got 2 Eradicator squads, 1 6-man that'll be led by the Apothecary Biologist, and a 3-man, and multi-melt is in both of those. Then, of course, we've got 3 Invader ATVs. These guys have the Onslaught Gatling cannons on them. We have 2 Repulsor Executioners with the Heavy Laser Destroyers. And then leading the charge from the front, as always, the Inquisitorial Henchmen, because they're the cheapest thing that I can take. DJ, what are you bringing today?
All right, here we go. This is the Grey Knights list that I've been running, and here we go again. So we have 5 Nemesis Dread Knights, 2 of which are Grandmasters. The first Grandmaster with the sword will also have the Sigil of Exigence to let him play into the late game. The second Grandmaster with a hammer will have Inescapable Wrath so that he's able to get +1 to his charge. Very useful on a deep strike. Then we have 3 regular Dread Knights. All my Dread Knights will be armed with Side Cannon and Silencer. And again, only the 1 Grandmaster will have a sword. The rest have hammers. Then we have 10 Purifiers. They have the 4 Incinerators on them, also led by Castle and Crow as a very strong anti-infantry choice and overwatching power. And then you have the 10 Terminators, which will be led by a Grandmaster who also has first to the fray. This brick is a OC30 even without the Grandmaster. Big, brutal objective control unit. And last and surely not least is my solo Libby. He has no enhancements, nothing else on him, but he is going to be able to get into small areas and also just punch real good with that Vortex of Doom. So,
yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. When I roll that 6, again, my favorite so far, my favorite Vortex of Doom was playing against Eric. And when I rolled when I rolled the second one, he's a very happy guy, very smiley, great opponent. And you just stand there like this, and he's just rolling his dice back and forth, like we do, fidgeting around. And he's just standing there, and the dice rolls, and it goes do, and you just see it 6. He's just really. As it was the second time I hit him with. Now,
that's 2d6 mortals.
Needless to say, the end of this story was he then went on to feel no pain, like 8 of them. He took like 2 damage after it was done. But I still, just the reaction. I love the reaction. It was absolutely priceless.
Oh, I think you owe me a game where you don't roll any 6s on that guy. Because every time I played against him, he pops at least 1 6. Usually like 2.
I disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with those odds. But one thing, though, I wanted to bring up, because you mentioned something, and I just want the viewers to actually understand this. I actually own more pairs of sweatpants and pajama pants than I own jeans.
Okay.
Just want the viewers to know this.
Okay, for the record.
For the record. So, yes.
Timestamp it here, guys.
This is a true thing, is that, yes, comfort is important with 40K. And honestly, that actually is true. Comfort is important. These are some long, long days. So as long as you have a place to hold your wallet, and I mean, I got a book bag for that. I'll throw it in there. Pajama pants. I need to get some Tim's Nation pajama pants.
Subscribe for more pajama pants talk.
Like, share, subscribe, and win pajama pants. I wonder how
when we hit 2,000 subscribers, DJ promises that he'll never talk about pajama pants again.
I can't make that promise. I can't make that promise.
I made it. Timestamp it. That promise.
I have had people comment
the game.
in the comment section about this. Odd or even, sir?
Even.
Ooh, that is an even. So, do you wish to deploy first or second?
Do you have any infiltrators? No.
No, I just have deep striking and scouting.
Yeah, I'll have you drop first.
All right, then we will be back after deployment. All right, we are deployed. Lane, talk to us about what we are doing today.
Well, they released the missions for CAG Bash in Cincinnati, so I asked DJ if we could play one of those missions. So the mission we're doing is the Ritual. This is the one where you have just one objective in the middle, and then you have to plant objectives as do an action with units to plant objectives out there. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And each one is 5 points. Each objective in No Man's Land is 5 points. The one in your deployment zone doesn't count for any scoring for you, except for secondaries. And then mission special is Scrambler Fields. This means we cannot deep strike onto objectives. You can deep strike to plant an objective, but you can't deep strike or come in from reserves onto objectives.
Can you? Does a time stamp off where we would be able to? It's end of the movement. So yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? You could deep strike and drop a... No, I'm saying you could deep strike and then replace the objective.
Yeah. And then our deployment today is sweeping engagement. So pizza slices?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. Now for deployment. Grey Knights. Yep.
Cowards them all.
All right. Now, to be fair, since we don't have many objectives out here, there's not really any reason for me to deploy aggressively. I'm just going to play it safe, play it right. The purifiers are actually not on top. They're on the first floor rune, but I just want to let everyone see them and know that they're there. But there is not a lot of reason for me to be hyper aggressive right now, since there's not many objective markers. So I don't really need to play out into too much of the field and just kind of got to wait on secondaries. And Lane, talk to us about this.
We're just kind of crowded around back here. Got an ATV ready to a couple ATVs ready to shoot out and plant objectives. But I kind of wanted to block out your deep striking and that sort of thing. I don't want you making a 3-inch deep strike into my deploy or onto my home field objective quite yet. So we just kind of spread things out. My inquisitorial henchmen are on the table to do a little bit of blocking out. They usually go into reserve to score points, but I'm going to put them out here so they can kind of keep you away from killing my captain. That's the most important thing. That captain has to live.
I feel like we've been on a trend lately of one of us drawing capture enemy outpost on turn 1. Where last game, didn't we both draw it on turn 1?
I mean, I feel like it happens every game. But
seriously. All right. Well, so in this scenario, what would you like? Going first or going second?
Probably second. I can't see anything. I like to kill things, DJ. There's nothing I can see to shoot at.
Yeah, I'd also like to go second so I can pick up and start playing the game. But all right, let's see what we got here.
Let's do it.
Oh, looks
DJ's
like I will be going
first.
first and doing not a lot of anything. But all right, we'll be back after the Grey Knight turn 1. All right, so end of Grey Knight's movement phase. We went nowhere because our secondaries are engaged on all fronts and bring it down. Not being able to pick up, not being able to do much. I got good guns, but I don't have guns to quite take out, these behemoths over here.
My behemoths.
But wait, I'm not doing nothing because I do have a Terminator squad with first to the fray. And I spent a command point to drop within 3 inches. We got some Terminators also inside the building over here, just hanging out in there too. Yeah, they're all the way in there. Yeah. So we're going to do some shooting. We're going to shoot, and we're going to shoot at that command squad and make them hurt. Try and, if we get lucky, I do not have the firepower to take that whole squad down. But I'm definitely going to scare Lane and make him make thoughts on that. So, all right, let's do some shooting. So not too bad. I knew I was not going to wipe out the squad, but I definitely want to threaten it because if I can pick up that Tome of Ectoclades before he can use it, that's almost a game-winning scenario. So we picked up 2 of the heroes. The heroes are 4 wounds apiece, so I had a lot to go through with only 3 side cannons, one being the Grandmaster and the regular bolters. Neat little thing. Grandmaster ignores modifiers, so they're giving me -1 to wound as well as armor contempt. Didn't work. It mattered this time. First time that mattered. But that's going to be it. I'm not going to score anything on secondaries. I'm going to pitch 1. I'll probably pitch Bring It Down and keep engaged on all fronts because my army does well with that secondary. So, yeah, no points for the Grey Knights. Passing it over to the DeathWatch.
These shenanigans, guys. So,
tell me how you hate the Grey Knights.
I hate the Grey Knights so much. I moved up the Repulsor Executioner so that I could shoot down here and shoot these Grey Knight Terminators. Of course, I got within 9 inches of the unit, so he spent 1 CP to Mr. Demos away. And then at the end of my movement phase, he spent 1 CP to rapid ingress the unit that he just picked up, which I guess is how Warhammer is played now, guys.
It's questionable, but now we're at that point of they're not in strategic. They got Mr. Demos. And it's still questionable play, but we discussed this, and after the event that Lane played this weekend, it was ruled okay. So we're tossing the coin at this one. So the Grey Knight Terminators that already were on the field, left the field, ignored all the other rules, because if you look at the Leviathan pack, it says that those rules of first turn and stuff are ignored by units on the field. So, hey, I'm ignoring it. They're coming in.
So, yeah, Terminators back on the table. As far as secondaries, I pulled Tempting Target and Capture Enemy Outpost. There was only one objective in the middle of the field in no man's land, so I was able to advance an ATV onto this. The Calidus had picked up at the end of DJ's turn. She came down here and planted an objective, and now DJ's going to try to take it away from me with
give it away
with them Terminators. So that's it. Didn't do any shooting. That makes me sad. And on to DJ's turn.
And just like magic, the Grey Knights appear. All right, so we got engage on all fronts from the last turn, as well as no prisoners. So we brought a lot to the field. I brought the Grandmaster with the sigil over here. So he's landing to be one of my engaged units. Purifiers and a Dread Knight still staying at home. Dread Knight moving out so he can draw shots in the middle and try and pick off that ATV. And then I just brought everything else around here. A whole bunch of Dread Knights, whole bunch of side cannons, whole bunch of weapons. And we're going to try and pick up one of these tanks. If I can get one of these tanks off the field, I stand a chance when he pops the Tome of Ectoclades. If both tanks are on the field when Lane pops the Tome of Ectoclades, I probably lose the game. That's at least in my mind and how I feel. Lane did Overwatch with the tank, trying to pick off my Grandmaster since he had precision rolling. Put him down to 4 wounds, but the Grandmaster is still alive. We have both these Dread Knights over here, one of which is going to try and charge at the ATV to get those extra points for engage on all fronts. I thought about dropping the Librarian in, but I want to save my command point in case I need it for a reroll on a charge or something. And then this Grandmaster is the one with +1 to charge, so he will need an 8-inch charge, actually, to land in on Big Stupid Tank. All right, and I only call it Big Stupid Tank because that's what Lane calls it.
No, it's a big smart tank.
All right. Really? Does it have Wi-Fi?
Well, I started calling it smart because if I call it a big dumb tank, I roll bad on it. So I gotta compliment it.
Does the tank have Wi-Fi?
Of course.
Does it have Bluetooth?
You think they don't have that in the 41st millennium?
You know, I don't know. It's probably something else at this point. All right, time to shoot. Okay, so strong shooting phase. Was able to get my 5 on no prisoners by taking the Terminators and picking up the Calidus. But before I did that, downwind, Dread Knight, picked up the ATV, and then over here, the Grandmaster picked up the ATV. So I know it seemed weird, why would I pick up the ATVs? But those are a big play into a lane's ability to drop and score points. So getting those out of the field and getting them out of my way is kind of helpful. Then over here, all 3 Dread Knights poured everything in. Lane spent 2 command points to give Pop Smoke and Armor of Contempt, and we were able to still hit pretty hard. I knew that I wasn't going to take it out in the shooting phase, but I did drop it down to 6 wounds, remove the glare, and that was from all of the Dread Knight's firepower, so I'm happy with that. So at least now I can spend that command point to re-roll a charge or something, or my Terminators can just potentially finish it off by themselves. All right, we got some charges to do. All right, well, we landed some charges. That +1 charge has been coming in very handy for this guy. We landed and clobbered, because Grandmasters get to re-roll hits, wounds, and damage versus vehicles. Just because. Kind of a weird one, I mean. But all right, I'll take it. And he finished off the tank. The Terminators charged in just to get a little bit of extra move. And we're threatening the Eradicators a bit. So the Eradicators came in a little bit further back. And that's about it. So we were successful in no prisoners for 5 and engage on all fronts for the partial. And that's going to be it for the turn. Now Lane has some decisions to make. Took out one of the tanks, which I'm happy with. And Lane's got a lot of, he's got some heavy weapons coming in here. It's going to be, I'm going to lose some Dread Knights this turn. All right, passing it over to the DeathWatch.
The secondaries I pulled are Secure No Man's Land and Cleanse, and I don't care. I am only here to kill. I cannot deep strike onto objectives to score these things. So the only way I'm going to do it is if I do make a lucky charge here. I couldn't move a whole lot that was on the table, otherwise DJ would run away. And this is the turn in which I'm going to try to kill as much as I can, the dice willing. So we did pop Tome of Ectoclades. It means I chose 2 targets that I will reroll all hits and wounds into. One will be these dirty Terminators. The other will be this Nemesis Dread Knight. I've also brought in the Deep Striking Eradicators, Terminator Squad here, Terminator Squad here.
Which is legal. As we looked up, you can only not deep strike on no man's land of
Right.
markers.
That's my deployment zone one, so I can deep strike on that.
You can deep strike in your opponents.
And then a Terminator Squad over here so they can shoot at this fella here. So I'm going to throw a whole bunch of dice and hope that it kills some things. Well, those are some bizarre dice that just happened. It was weird. I had this Terminator Squad with its 18 shots, rerolling all hits and wounds and sustained, did 1 devastating wound with all those rerolls, rerolling all the wounds. I got 19 hits and got 1 dev wound. It's very sad. These Eradicators did do a great job just by themselves because they're in melt terrains. They did pick up the Dread Knight here.
Easily.
The one that had the Tome of Ectoclades got picked up by Terminators rolled really hot on their dev wounds, so it swung around. But then I didn't have a whole lot of
the dev wounds alone.
Yeah, and then these guys, the Eradicators, the 6-man Eradicator brick did not do a single wound to the Dread Knight. I think I did 2 wounds, and you saved them both on your 4-ups. Even with lethal hits and re-rolling all hits and sustained, really just whiffed. That was sad to see, especially into a vehicle that's T8 when they're strength 9. Oh well. But then the big old laser shot downtown here from the repulsor and knocked this guy down to 1 wound.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And then we put some work into this Terminators just with the rest of the shots here. Not huge in terms of number of Terminators killed. I really wanted to kill more than what we got took care of here. But now I guess we try to make some charges into them and see if we can get in there and maybe knock a couple more down. All right. Here we go. Charge. Nothing happened anywhere. No charges were made because I shot the units that I killed the units in shooting that I was going to make charges to. I had a 9-inch charge here from the Terminators into these Terminators. Failed it with the CP reroll, so nothing happened there. No scoring on secondaries. That's pretty much it.
All right, so I smell blood in the water, and I'm striking. My secondaries are extend battle lines and capture enemy outposts, and I could have extended battle lines by just hanging out here with the Terminators, but capture enemy outposts for 8 points, so much more valuable. So I moved them up and got Overwatch, and Lane picked up 2 Terminators. 2 Terminators. I was able to put 1 back with the Apothecary, but Lane picked up 2. So we're still going to try and charge. We have a high OC value and try and see how much damage we can do into the Terminators after we clear some other guys out of the way. I picked up a Dread Knight, the Grandmaster Dread Knight that was in the corner, as well as my Purifiers. And the Purifiers returned back in over here for a command point to land within 3 inches. So they're going to put down some fire. And after Lane Overwatch, that gave me the right to move this single wound Dread Knight into position so he can try and charge, shoot, and do some damage and try and clear out of here. So like Lane likes to say, we're just going to try and do some killing. The Grandmaster, I had to pick him up, even though he was already basically over here. This is actually further for him than he would have landed. And last, but surely not least, the Librarian lands, and he's going to try and hit the tank with a Vortex. So we'll see how that goes. All right, time to do some shooting, and we'll be back. All right, not bad, not bad. Dread Knight, he's hurting. He's pretty beat up. So he really didn't do anything over here. So he's just going to have to charge and at least punch the ATV, and then he's going to see his end next turn. He's battle shocked, which is okay because I wanted to tank shock. I did, Lane reminded me I forgot to roll the battle shock, and he failed. So he's not even going to be able to tank shock. The Purifiers, they did some work, leaving us only 1 Eradicator out of that 6-man squad left, and the Apothecary. Then the combination of the Dread Knight and the Terminators finished off the 3-man Eradicators over here. So reducing the Melta weapons, reducing the Melta, and then over here. Lane, you want to tell me why?
No, I don't want to tell you what.
You don't want to tell me why?
You have to. I don't want to talk about it.
Right here, right here. He didn't get a 6. He rolled a 5 and a 6 for his D3, so that was 6 right there. And then the Purified, he even hit him with a bolter and did work with a bolter. And then the Dread Knight also poured in to help in reducing him down to 3 wounds. So all that's left is some charges. We're going to do some charges, do some fighting, and we'll be back after that resolution and what we did here. All right, so Mr. Dread Knight did his job, finished off the ATV on the charge, was worried he wasn't going to make it. You know, 1-inch charge can be difficult sometimes. But then after killing the ATV, he piled in bravely into the Eradicator and Apothecary and just prayed that he didn't get killed by the Apothecary poking him in the eye. He is alive, which is a positive thing. Over here, the Terminators walked in there, and I used the Grandmaster 0 out of command point strat to give them the dev wounds. That usually is 2 CP. And so with the combination of dev wounds and everything else, we picked up majority of the squad, leaving us with just the Thunderhammer left, and scoring capture enemy outposts. Over here, the Grandmaster failed the charge, but guess who made it? Mr. Librarian. And Lane was ready to chuck this Librarian against the wall if it actually successfully took out the tank. Fortunately, that's not where the Libby shines, so it didn't happen. But you know what? It was funny that he got there. So that's going to be it for the turn. We're going to pass it back over to Lane. Lane has already informed me he's going to spend his 1 command point that he has and pick up this unit of Terminators. All right, over to the DeathWatch turn.
My secondaries are investigate signals and storm hostile objectives. So, got these inquisitorial henchmen here. Going to investigate. Going to have to take back my home objective in order to successfully storm a hostile one. Unfortunately, didn't do really any moving because, other than falling back here with my this Terminator, that's it. And these Terminators came in from Deep Strike. I'd rather not be I'd rather not be overwatched by Yawn Purifiers. So
and then have them run away at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. My shooting didn't do a whole lot. I really wanted to pick this guy up, so I fired the Mastercrafted Heavy Bolter from this squad and the assault cannons from the Terminators and everything. Failed to take the single last wound on. Didn't get a single dev wound with the assault cannons. So tricky business there. And picked up some more Terminators here with the shooting from the assault cannons and Repulsor Executioner. I did target this Grand Monster, and then he jumped away because he had this Sigil of Exigence and put a couple of lasers down here. Did knock this guy down to 6. So it's charge o'clock. Yeah. We got the issue with these guys. They have really strong Overwatch, but we're going to just see what we can do here. Okay, wild game, guys. We did finish off in combat. We finished off the squad. The Grandmaster is still there with 4 wounds left. I did finish off this Nemesis Dread Knight finally, but unfortunately lost all the Terminators. So DJ is free to pick these guys up if he wants to. I was just trying to tag them so they couldn't do anything or go anywhere, but he finished them off. And then that's it. The tank did do 1 wound here. It's a little Librarian. So take that. And then it's on to DJ's turn.
All right, so we kept extend battle lines out of the last turn, and we drew investigate signals. I'm not too worried about investigate signals. We're just going to go after extend battle lines. So I picked up the Dread Knight that was over here, knowing I was going for that, and dropped him down over here. Spent my 1 command point for the turn to auto-pass the Battle Shock. I didn't want to risk it because I needed to score some points. I need to make sure I'm scoring some points during this game. This Dread Knight, who's sigiled, just walked right up on the objective so I can get my extend battle lines, and he's going to pick on Terminators with his buddy in the backfield. So we're going to do some shooting over there. Librarian stayed in combat because he can still vortex out of combat. So he's going to try and finish off that tank. And then the Purifiers stayed on the field as they're going to move out here. They're going to try and finish off some of these units in the backfield and then charge over here and try and rescue Mr. Grandmaster. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to do some shooting and see how this all plays out. So just kind of bypass right over to the assault phase because there wasn't too much in the shooting phase. We did, with the Purifiers, we were able to pick up the Eradicator, just that 1 Eradicator, and damage the Apothecary. And these Inquisitorial henchmen back here. I had a vendetta with them anyways. Then the Purifiers were able to charge over and successfully save their Grandmaster, at least at the moment, because I think that Terminator is going to try and take some vengeance and at least take the Grandmaster out. But we were able to at least get him out of combat for now. Over here, the Librarian hit with the Vortex of Doom and finished off the tank. Happy days. Now over here, both the Grandmaster and the Dread Knight shot did a little damage to the Terminators, and then the Grandmaster charged in just to be able to hurt them, drop them down to 1 Terminator. So we are gonna score extend battle lines. We'll ditch investigate signal for a command point and pass it over to Lane as we start to move to wrap up this game.
That's it, guys. Now, DJ thought he was going to have me tabled in turn 2, maybe turn 3. I have made it all the way to turn 4. And look at this. The Apothecary is still alive. So that's it. My secondaries were behind enemy lines and deployed teleport homers. Can't do anything. So the last Terminator charged in, tried to pick up the Grandmaster, just did 2 wounds. And then the Nemesis Dread Knight picked up my last Terminator there. So that's it. We'll just pull some cards and score out the rest of the game here. I think this is my lowest scoring game of 10th edition. So, all right, that's my turn.
All right, and this is going to be the end of the game, especially considering that we got the Apothecary. So we picked up
turn 5, DJ. I lasted all the way to turn 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the tablings weren't like, there were still remnants I had to clean up, but
nope, I made it to turn 5.
I got you to turn 4 and then turn 5 full table. So, but yeah, it's just to finish up the game. I drew Cleanse and Behind Enemy Lines. So I picked up the Librarian and the Dread Knight going into it just for like, whatever am I going to score? And that was what I got. So Librarian dropped down and the Grandmaster passes Battle Shock, came around the corner, and we put it all. We were ready to shoot at the Apothecary when the Librarian rolled a 6 for Vortex, because why not? Add insult to injury and just obliterate the Apothecary into a Vortex. Spent 1 command point to advance the Purifiers, so they were given assault weapons so they could cleanse, and the Dread Knight Grandmaster over here did the same thing, giving us a final score, and this is silly, with the Grey Knight scoring a massive 51 to a DeathWatch 22. Lane is proud of his 22. All right, guys. We'll catch you over in the post game, and we'll talk about all of our thoughts on this this grueling matchup. Very interesting on how the set mission primary worked for it. It was a very low scoring game. But thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon.